Hey, everybody. Welcome back again. I'm having some more fun interviewing some other of our doctor clients that are using the book and transforming their practices. So, once again, my name is Rochelle Shaw, and y'all remember me for many years. I was the only female African American public utility owner in the nation. Built my first business from 300,000 to 36 million. I lost it all after 9/11, but then I rebuilt back my $1 million business in about 5 months. I talk about it in that green book over there, the $1 million equation. And then I helped an OBGYN. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, I can't wait to have a pap smear. But I helped him build from 300,000 to 1.2 million in less than 9 months. And that story is in that blue book right there, all about how I helped him build his business. But the best and my real fun secret that I always share is when I wrote the book for him, everything changed. So that's what we're going to talk to Dr. Vinton about today. And he is even better than everybody else that we've always talked to. Hey, Dr. Vinton, please introduce yourself to the group.
Well, hi, I'm Dr. Ken Vinton. I'm in a little town north of Pittsburgh. I've been here for 37 years. And yes, you always wanted a book, always heard about the guy who had a book, always thought it was too hard or too big of a deal. But once we did it, everything you heard about books is true. I mean, you instantly become an authority. They already have a trust built in you because of a book that they read before they were sent to you.
Yeah.
People hand them out like they're candy. I was just discussing before we came on, we had somebody share a book. I think this person came about 6 hours away. And our average patient to our practice is traveling at least an hour. Half come from out of state. So because somebody told somebody or mailed somebody one of our books, and then they call and, oh yeah, we now have to the point where we have people who drive people to the airport. We have special deals with hotels because so many people come from so many different places. So everything you heard about a book is absolutely true.
Wow. So even coming 6 hours. So coming 6 hours, I guess you know that they're committed. Like, is the sales process hard when they drive
No,
six
no. So,
hours?
so again, within less than 30 minutes, I think it was 29 and a half minutes, the person was writing an $18,000 check. And I had only met them 29 minutes before. So, yeah. And so that happens all day long. So the
So
book,
tell me about that process though. Like, how do they go from not knowing you to getting a book and then buying from you? Like, how long is the process from when they call to when they get a booked appointment? Let's start there.
so it depends on the person. We try to keep that in a week or two. So we used to have an 8 month wait. I was having dinner with a friend who had a 4 month wait, thought that was exciting. Oh, I hated it.
Yeah.
So we decided as a staff that we would work longer days, that we tripled our physical space. We went from 2 doctors to 6 doctors. And so now we can usually get you in within a week or two. Now we are very busy. We had to rearrange our schedule to handle the number of new patients we have. Um, and then we do a lot of front end stuff. I had a consultant once who used to brag about how he loved getting in a room and just going knee to knee and toe to toe and arguing with the patient, wrestling to his point of view. And if you know Dan Kennedy, that's no. They should come ready to buy. So we do a lot on the front end. So we do marketing, TV, Facebook, whatever, lectures. But what happens is, give me just a second. I'm going to stand up and reach.
No worries. We
We
get the
we
props. We love props
the
here.
book was amazing. So our book, which Nina helped us to do, um, I don't know, we go through hundreds of these, right? Every month, but the people pass them out. We went a step further. So I'm just going to share with you how we now do things. And we're just hired the woman. I'm actually at her desk. My desk is too noisy. Um, she's a retired postal worker. And I'm in my basement of my office, and I have 70 feet of shelves times 3. And I put in our own direct mail center here with all the pieces that I wrote. So now let's assume you see an ad on TV. you
Yeah.
call. Now, we've had outside calling companies, but nobody can get anybody scheduled to any significant degree. So what we did was every night at 7 o'clock when I'm done with patients, return all the new calls for the day. We found that when I do that task, they agree and they accept their care and they schedule an appointment.
Sure.
So that hour or two for me every night is worth $30,000 to $50,000 an hour. So is it better to do that or that's why I hired a doctor to take care of a lot of my day-to-day stuff. He's doing the $200 an hour stuff so I can do the $30,000 an hour stuff. So
Brilliant.
now you've called. And I found that, okay, if I called you back, maybe you called at noon and I'm calling you back at 7, some people didn't answer the phone. So we put another step in with a ringless voicemail. So I have 10 messages depending on what niche we're in. So let's say it's the noon news and we get 17 phone calls at lunchtime. The girls put them in an Excel spreadsheet. It gets uploaded to we use the company Drop Cowboy. You press a button and all 17 get a message. Hey, we saw that you called. So sorry to have missed your call. Well, not really. I'm busy. I don't have time right now, but I want you to feel heard and acknowledged. But look, we're very busy. One of our doctors will finish tonight around 7. Keep a lookout for this number. They'll personally give you a call then. And so now we have doubled or tripled the number who answer the phone when we call back. So what happens is, let's assume you schedule your appointment. You still don't know quite who we are. Not many people drive from the city we're in the country, we're in the middle of nowhere. So we're an hour to any major city, a half hour to the next town. So not only are people crossing state lines and bridges, but they're coming from the city to the country. So, and the majority of them still came. But to close the gap for the few who didn't, we then, as soon as you say yes to an appointment, we 2-day FedEx, we got a one rate, an information packet. So the information packet has a welcome book, simple book, but in the book, it's 30 pages. It tells you who we are, what we do. There's pictures, so you get to meet the staff. You get to see that we're a real company. We're real people, not just some 30-second relationship we had on a TV ad or something. It tells you what to expect in your visit. It tells you that we run on time. And if you're not able to commit to this appointment, let us know because we're so busy, we don't have time to accommodate missed appointments. Guess what that did to people keeping their appointment? It increased it. In addition, so you read that. So then we made questionnaires, knee pain recovery guides, back pain recovery guide, and it's a quiz. But the quiz is designed. So now we went from a 30-second relationship. You read the book. Now we have a 30-minute and 30-second relationship. Now you take a quiz. The quiz has 20 questions, but they're designed to educate you. So let's assume that you've been getting cortisone. Every doctor knows that cortisone damages the tissue. Research has been very clear that it accelerates the arthritis and forces you into a joint replacement sooner. So the question might say, does your doctor still use cortisone? Well, yeah. Next question, did anybody tell you that it damages the joint? Well, no. And so what I'm doing is I'm swaying you to our point of view through very systematic questions. Then when we're done, they have our book in the thing as well, but we also go a step further. We have magnets. So now on your fridge, et cetera, et cetera. Now let's assume you don't respond when I call you. The next thing you get, we have a series. So everybody, well, not everybody, because my 2 new staff members didn't know about a round to it. We have a round to it letter, right? Hey, we saw that you called. We haven't seen you on the schedule. We always include a research article dismissing what your other options might be and telling you, and so they do that. If they don't respond, 10 days later, they get a pill bottle with a placebo inside, with an article and another letter saying, hey, you might be thinking you can cover this up with some pills, but here's what really happens. Did you know that a third of all the costs, let's say, of osteoarthritis is taking care of the side effects of those non-steroidals? If you don't respond, 10 days later, you get a syringe. mailed to you with a label. Inside the syringe is your letter and another article. Hey, you know what? You might be thinking then that cortisone, it's not going to help. And we go, then we have the dice. You get a dice letter. Maybe you're a gambler. Me, not so much, but you might be gambling. I can get away with this, not having to do something. Mrs. Jones, by the time you have enough damage to your joint, it's already a serious condition. And I use the hypnotic imagery. Every step you take is causing more arthritis. Tick, tock, that clock is ticking every step. Now, Mrs. Jones, whether you keep these dice, whether you throw them away or leave them on the shelf or play with them, every time they touch your hands, I want you to think about that arthritis in your knee and how every day you're not doing something is getting worse. So I've now put hypnotic imagery in, and hopefully you've called. If you haven't called, you get a garbage can. Clearly, Mrs. Jones, you're not paying attention and you're throwing my stuff away. So I've included a garbage can for you to do that exact thing in. But seriously, we've been doing this long enough and you know enough by now. So they've collected these items on their end table. They have multiple letters. And so let's assume you do become a patient. You've come to the consultation. The first thing you do is you're greeted with a 5-star greeting. You're taken to a TV room that's so you don't fumble in the waiting room with your paperwork. You have a private room with a private desk to do your paperwork. When you're done, you press a little buzzer, somebody comes down, and then the script is while the doctor's reviewing your exam findings or your paperwork or whatever, he's asked me to have you watch a short educational video. Now it's going to take him about 20 minutes to review this data. And so the video is about 20 minutes long. When it's done, you ring that buzzer again, and he'll be waiting for you in the exam room. Now, the video is all Dan Kennedy, all takeaway selling. So I set up what you think is the option, and then I show you what the actual outcomes and research are, take it away. And by the time you're done with that video, people now have had a relationship with me, even though they've yet to meet me. Now, I'm a little anal. In the video, I bought multiple shirts and ties that match, so I'm good for the next 15 years. Because now when you've finally seen my face, I'm wearing the same shirt and tie that was in that video. So when people walk in the room, they subconsciously feel comfortable with me. They just spent 20 minutes with me. And almost every one of them says, that was the most I ever learned, let's assume it's a knee, about my knee for all the doctors I've ever been to. So now we've answered the 10 most common questions, things that you knew that you may have had an issue with or an objection to, I've already silently removed because that's what the video was for. So by the time we meet, there's only one question to answer. Can we help or not? You already know what your 6 possible options might be. You've already said you don't want to have surgery. You've just driven, like this gentleman, 5 hours to get here. You've read the book, taken the quiz, watched the video. To say no would be, like Dan always says, by the time you fly to Akron, stay in the Quality Inn, you've already kind of made up your mind. You really have to screw that up. So a lot of this came from Dan because we built a 5-star clinic. It is the best clinic in the country. It's taken 40 years to do. We have medical physicians, pain management, surgeons, chiropractors. We have equipment that no other clinic, and we've taught for over 30 years, no other clinic in the US has under one roof. So remember the TV station guy said, you know more about advertising than I do, and this is my job. And I said, I better, because it took me 40 years to build this. And Mary had a little lamb, but nobody would know she didn't tell them. So I have to make sure that I tell them in an appropriate way. So we just started with what are all the problems and then just reverse engineer it. And we remove them before they ever come up. So when you walk in the door, you already kind of know who I am. I'm not a celebrity, but to you and or heard, I'm a celebrity. I'm the guy who wrote the book. I'm the guy you just saw in the video who you don't even realize is wearing the same shirt and tie every day for the last 4 years that matches what's in the video. And the result of it is that's how you go from zero to an $18,000 check in 25 minutes. Because most of the work was done beforehand. And if you do it that way, there is no arguing. There is, people just say yes, but it's not magic, because if you skip a step, you quickly find out how they say no. So then we went to the other end. You've now become a patient. You've given me an $18,000 check or whatever the number is. This is a gentleman who had a lot of things that he needed help with. You will get a FedEx box tomorrow. It's a box, but in the box it starts with a welcome letter. So you open up the tissue paper, and there's a welcome letter. Under the welcome letter is a video brochure. Because when I used to send a DVD or a stick, or what, the DVD wasn't working, or you don't have a computer, or you're elderly, whatever. So now, as soon as you open the welcome book, there's my face. And what I tell you is all the great stuff that's in the box. It's 10 minutes long. I teach you how to refer. I got this from a Dan Kennedy. The guy, he was a financial guy out of West Virginia, said that he got an extra $1 million every 90 days using this one script. So the script was simply, Mrs. Jones, now that we've begun this process, you're going to have a lot of friends and family ask you, what is it you're doing? Well, it's sometimes hard to answer that. So I've made it very simple. We've included some books in the box. Just hand them one of the books and say, these are the people we like and trust. Can you say that? These are the people we like and trust. And just hand them a book. If you run out of books, just ask Sally at the front. She'll get you more at no charge anytime you'd like. But then as the box goes on, we have things about different things that people have, other niches that we deal with that you don't know that we deal with. So we also have 5 different phone numbers, backs and knees and whatever. So when you call about a knee, the phone number answers knee pain recovery line. When you come in, I have 7 different kinds of paperwork. You get the knee paperwork. Somebody else may get the back paperwork. And so you don't even know we do other things as of this point. You just know we're really good at knees, apparently. But now we tell you all the other things we do. And we teach you, we have little questionnaires that you can take and turn in that let us know we have these other 3 problems. And so that's how you get to an $18,000 case, is you piggyback multiple conditions that the guy has that he didn't necessarily come to you for, but you can help him with. So he came for 1, and we found out he had 4. Dude, we can help all of these. Here's what that looks like. So then as we go through, did you know that 1 in 10 people have a car accident every month? Put this in your glove box of your car. Here's a magnet with a calendar for your fridge. Here's our t-shirt. And if we catch you with the t-shirt, you go into a drawing for a gas card every month. So now, not only am I your guy, you got this cool box you're showing everybody, but you're wearing my t-shirt. You're carrying your bag to the grocery store. I'm on your refrigerator with a magnet. I'm in your glove box in case there's a car accident. I give you a couple of pens to leave around the house. I am now inserted myself everywhere in your life, giving you the tools as well as the script to refer. And this whole thing just goes crazy. And it's a great system. And I got to thank you guys, because I can't believe I wasted 3 decades without a book. Because what's happened since we got the book, if I'd gone back 3 decades, I'd be inviting you to my island. I wouldn't be still working.
I love it. I love it. No, but you know what? It's number one, it's an honor to work with smart entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah.
It's just an honor who get it. Right? And
it's a rarity who get it. Yes.
It's so tough that they go, well, how much is the book? And it's like, you're joking, right?
You're joking, exactly.
Like, what are you talking about? One of the I saw the wonderful referral that you did for us. Thank you so much. That you
Certainly.
Friend. And you told him that you made how much, you can attribute how much to the book?
At least 750,000 last year to the book. Yeah.
Wow.
At least. Yeah.
Wow. And so just the fact that you're showing them how to refer, you're giving them extra copies, you're shipping them some so that they don't have to, if they don't want to, you're telling them where to leave one so that in case you see somebody in an accident here, give them the book. Like, you've made it idiot proof, if we say.
Well, again, but if you start with the end in mind and just work it backwards, all of those things make sense, right? So, and I also always mention friends, family, neighbors, and coworkers, because your mind might be thinking, oh, I don't know anybody. Any friends? Well, yeah, Bob's always complaining about his back. Family members. Oh, and Sally. Yeah, oh, yeah. And the people at church. oh my God, they're always praying for Mrs. You know what? Give her the book. And as a result, but if you don't tell them, sometimes their brains don't connect it. But when you give them those examples, they think of 3, 4, or 5, and they quickly need more books. So
Yeah.
yeah, people's like, well, it costs like $5 a book. I'm like, okay, and yeah, and but
Right.
see, but you're giving it to a person to turn them into a qualified lead, because now once they've read it, people are like, wow, that's impressive. He must be the guy. So
Right.
yeah, exactly.
And smart people are readers, and
Yeah,
their great clients are readers. Like all
yeah,
these people that think like I talked to a doc last week who was like, well, he's really getting great success on TikTok. And I'm like, and how many readers are there on TikTok?
yeah.
They can't, like,
Well,
it's only a minute. So they can't even sit still for the minute. Are you kidding me?
well, not only that, but how many of those scrolling through have income, right? So it doesn't matter how many clicks you got. It matters how many show up, and that doesn't even matter. It matters how many show up and write a check. So
And able
that's
to
the
write
issue.
an $18,000 check.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're not on
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
TikTok, right?
No.
They're
No.
also, they also put their basket back at the grocery store after they park the car, right?
Yeah.
There,
Yeah.
it's a different type of person.
Different
So
type of person. Yeah.
I'm like, please have fun fighting over those.
Yeah.
Then you wouldn't be a great client for us anyway, because our
Sure.
clients get it, right? They
Yeah.
definitely get it. Tell me, my second really fun giggle is always when people come up to me and find out what I do, and they go, "Oh, I get all my business from referrals." And I go, "Really? So tell me the last time somebody referred someone to you, or your last five. Tell me about them." And they can't,
No.
because they haven't done what you've done
It's what we made it
predictively.
automatic. See, if it was up to somebody to ask, well, maybe they're not in today. Maybe you're busy and didn't get a chance to today. But now that you know that it's automatic, oh, and so we definitely get a fair number from referrals, but we get triple the number from marketing. So the idea is to load both barrels of the gun. And the other idea is when you're done to have aftercare. So wellness care, right? So done doesn't mean done. It just means we're done with this portion. There are other portions. So the end result of it is you're going to do it somewhere. You're going to have this, you're going to pay somebody. It might as well be us, and it's just a continuation of what we're doing. Now, if you don't want it, that's fine too. I mean, not everybody is that person. But so we start, if I may share, with a simple thing called MPC. Now we're in healthcare. So maintenance, problem, crisis. So Mrs. Jones, most people brush their teeth, right? Most people, well, actually only about 9% exercise, more should exercise, right? But most people understand that if you don't take care of something, your lawnmower, your teeth, your spine, your arteries, your relationships, they always get a problem. But problems are always silent. You don't feel your arteries clog. You don't feel your relationships disintegrate. You don't feel your spine degenerate. You feel it when you're in a crisis. Well, Mrs. Jones, that's where you are now. That's what brought you here today. So our first goal is to help you with a crisis. Well, that's only X amount of care. Mrs. Jones, the bigger goal is to help fix the damage that allowed to accumulate. Now the case is that big. But ideally, Mrs. Jones, our goal, the whole reason this started, is because you weren't maintaining your well being. Our ultimate goal is to return you back to a lifetime of maintenance and wellness. Now, whether that's a once a year checkup or a once a month checkup, or given your lifestyle and the damage you've done, a once a week checkup, whether that's spinal care, whether that's exercise, whether that's stress reduction or metabolic thing, already there's 4 different cases that could have bloomed out of that. So the end result of it is the goal is I need to insert myself in your life, and I want to be your doctor to the day you die. And so how do you reverse engineer that? Well, you make the goal of care to return back to wellness. And if you do that on the front end, it's kind of like when you buy the warranty on a car. Nobody buys the warranty after you bought the car. You either buy it that first day, you're just not buying the warranty. So if we explain on day one that the goal of care is to return back to wellness, 80, I think it's 84, 86% of our patients choose some sort of a wellness. There's 15% who don't, and they just wait to the next crisis and call us again. but 84% do. So that's how you fill your buckets up. You start with the end in mind and work backwards. But yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Love hearing that. Let me ask you kind of an odd question. Um, but so what is so different about you? Because there's lots of folks, there's lots of docs, there's lots of chiros that swear that they are exactly like you, right?
Yeah.
But what made you say, I need to focus on the marketing of this thing? And, so how do we find more of folks like you?
Well, I fell in love with Dan Kennedy. That's how it happened, right? So I have all of his programs and tapes. And I tried hiring people to do it because I'm incredibly busy. But my wife has family in Europe. And so what happened is that when she went 3 years ago, we wrote the book because I didn't have to go home at night. I just sat at my desk and worked till 2 in the morning, got it done. When she went last year, the marketing stuff that has been on my desk in bits and pieces of being finished for about a decade,
Yeah.
I decided, okay, she's gone for a month. I'm getting it all done. So she's leaving Friday this time to go back again. I have 5 weeks. And in that 5 weeks, we're putting everything on video, or everything we do is going to go on video for training for new staff, but
Yeah.
also training for other entrepreneurs or other doctors so that every time somebody calls, I don't have to start at the beginning and work all over again. We just say, you know what? Here's a thing. You can download it, you can watch it. And if you need hand holding, we'll do that portion for you. So it's the same thing applied to that as it is to apply to our patients.
Love it. Love
Yeah,
it. So what would you say though is the thing, if they don't run into Dan Kennedy, because he's still out and about with Russell, but
sure.
he's not doing what he used to
No,
do.
not to the same degree. Absolutely not.
No. So what would you say like to docs who are they're just getting their marketing from the internet, like, how do they become a Dr. Vinton? What do
So
they need to do?
first of all, they have to have a passion for that, right? So most people don't. They don't want to be a business owner. They just want to be a doctor. So that's a significant thing. The second thing is you have to ask, because it all comes back to your self-esteem, right? Like, I don't think I'm worth that amount. I'm a doctor. I would never do that. Well, you're full of beans, because the goal is figure out what you really want and then work backwards. So I really want whatever it is. Okay, what will it take to get there? Okay, here's a dollar amount. What does it take to make that happen? Some people don't have big dreams, so it won't take much to happen. But my goal was, I had big dreams. And so I wanted to really let it loose and do what we had to do. So I had to reverse engineer it. So
Yeah.
how they do it is they first start asking the question because they don't know. I forget who it is. Maybe it's a commercial I hear. 80% of salespeople have never studied sales. Everybody I ask, what do you do for a living? I'm a salesperson. Who did you train with? Nobody. I just make it up. It's all just good bullshit anyhow. I'm like, are you kidding me? So so you could double, triple, or quadruple just by putting this. I needed a surveyor for some property I just bought. I called 8. Nobody even had an answering machine, let alone anybody answering the phone. Are you kidding me? We just bought a new house. So I need heating and air conditioning. It's about a $30,000 job. First
Right.
guy comes right away. Good. We meet. Great. Nothing. So I wait a couple of days. I call, nothing. I call again. Oh, Charlie's out sick. He'll get back to you when he's in. Here's my email. Just email me the quote. Nothing happens. So while I'm waiting, I call somebody else. And I know the guy, but he still doesn't give me a bid. So I actually hired a third guy. But now, you know what? This jaws on me. Like Dan always talked about the sales prevention department. I call the first guy back, talk to the same secretary. So whatever happened? I never got my bid. Well, sometimes Charlie writes down emails wrong. That's probably what happened. Okay, goodbye. And she hung up. See, now my brain wants to call the owner and say, you should fire both the secretary and Charlie, because I am a $30,000 case minimum who needs heat and air conditioning for a brand new house. I came to you first. I have called you back now 3 times. And even after they've realized that maybe Charlie screwed up,
Yeah.
all she said was, oh, sometimes I doesn't write it down. Okay, goodbye. And she hung up. She didn't say, let me get somebody over to your house now. Let me, whatever. Nothing. Hang up. The second guy, I know him. I called him back. Do I have a bid yet? Well, I've been a little busy. Haven't got to that yet. It's $30,000. Are you kidding me? So I went on to the third guy. He showed up and it's done now. And so he got the 30 grand. I'm like, how much money is lost? I tried to
Yeah.
buy a grill when Sears used to be across the street here. And I had the cash, I had a truck, and I had the grill. Yeah, but Bob's not in today. He's in charge of the grills. Yeah, yeah, I just want that one right there, and here's my money. Yeah, I can't. Bob's not here. He'll be in on Friday. Well, I'm going to be out of town Friday. Well, that's the next time Bob's in. I can't help you. Are you kidding me? I have money. You have they wouldn't exchange. You kidding me? All day long. Now, most people don't see that. It doesn't bother them. But I think of the money that's being lost. How many people don't answer the phone correctly? How many people don't learn their words? Even the scripting, I found most of our staff could not remember scripting, simple things. So I made videos for everything because that way, even if you make a mistake, the video was perfect. All you have to do is get them in the room, press the button, and it should do the rest. The marketing pieces, they'll sell, they're like my little army going out to sell for me. And therefore, it's exactly the verbiage that I want, the hypnotic speech that I want, the takeaway selling that I want, leaving you in the look we had. So, and if you don't do care, which some people can't, they can't get financing, they can't afford, or let me go talk to my sister. She's an RN. She doesn't know anything. So, but you don't know that she doesn't know it. So I wrote a letter specifically to that. So we had 11 people into that category. I sent this letter that I wrote to all 11. Two called the following week and said, you know what? Let's begin care. One was a $12,000 case, one was a $9,000 case. So a simple letter mailed to the people. So again, they didn't go away, just like the people who called from a TV ad and never showed up or never answered the call. They didn't go away. I just spent marketing dollars for them to say, hey, I'm over here. I have knee pain. We just haven't connected. So how do I connect? Well, actively with phone calls, passively with, pill bottles. And if you got neuropathy, we send you a little foot with pins in the bottom and our name is stamped. Well, you're not going to throw this away. This will sit on the shelf. Your neuropathy is a chronic condition. It's not going to go away. So at some point, that low hanging fruit is going to call and we're ready. But as they said, every 30 days, you're not in front of your customer base. They're getting attention from somebody else and they're gonna deal with this. They might deal with it over there. So what's it cost me? $3 to mail that? But I just got 22,000, well, 21,000 back from 2 letters, and I had to mail out whatever the number was. So let's assume it cost me $30 to mail everything. But
Right.
are you kidding me? So yeah.
Well, no, sometimes I don't think that they think of, even there's somebody watching this right now that says, "Oh, that's a lot of stuff and that's a lot of money. And, if I only had the money."
Exactly. So
Right.
so two things. I gave a talk at a convention in Florida. And mentioned how my patients drive a minimum of an hour. Well, it's because I'm in the country. Everything's an hour, right?
Yeah.
So the guy came up after the talk said, oh, I can never have anybody drive an hour. I just wouldn't feel good about that. And I'm like, well, guess what? You'll never have anybody drive an hour. I could never charge that amount. Are you kidding me? So let me ask you, what do you have? How much was your last vacation? Oh, we went to Disney. It's about 10,000. Oh, okay. So you can spend the money. So it's just a value thing. So if you came to me and it was me or your family doctor and you had a $20 copay, well, you're thinking, but it's not apples and apples because what you really need, and I tell people, Mrs. Jones, this is a serious end stage orthopedic condition. You are past $20 copays. You're going to give somebody, and if you have surgery, it's $75,000 a joint, 3 months of rehab, and you're praying because it's a 50-50. Half do very well, half still struggle after the surgery. You're praying that you're not in the other half because you can't put money on that half. You can't put if you get the infection and you're laid up for 3 or 6 months. You can't put if you get a blood clot and now you can't ever work again. So, Mrs. Jones, what is the true value? And then we always compare because you still don't know. If I say 18,000, oh my God. No, no, no. because we have patients from all over the world, we know what fees are. I know a guy just paid for a fraction of what we did. He paid $23,000 in Mexico. Somebody else paid 19 for what we might charge 6,000 for in LA. So they flew in for their visits. So I tell people, even though we're the top clinic in the country, we're in a small town. I have a lot of overhead, but like my friend in San Jose has $34,000 a month of rent. I don't have that. So Mrs. Jones, like the guy who was 18, we did, if he were in New York, that would have cost him $40,000 as a minimum. So, I mean, our fees are actually on the lower end for this type of work. And he's having stem cells in multiple joints, including his spine, his torn rotator cuffs. But he's 36 years old and multiple injuries as a young child working on the farm. But if you wish, he has two beautiful kids and a wife. If you wish to keep working, okay, you do surgery, you're not working, you're not doing this job anyhow.
No.
So that's, but so we add all of that in, not just say, hey pal, this is 18 grand. It doesn't work that way. So you have to have the skills. As I told the TV guy, we would not build this amazing 5-star office with all these amazing doctors, tools and technologies that don't exist anywhere, able to get results and then not tell anybody. So we have to be congruent with what we say. We have to provide the care on time in a friendly, clean environment. We have to go above and beyond with a wow factor, which is why we get so many 5-star reviews. We have to then make it so that, look, if you, that guy who just wrote the $18,000 check, I promise you, took 2 books home with him, and I will have a referral from him within 2 weeks. So not only did he travel 5 hours, spend 18,000 because he got here from a referral from his uncle who did the same thing. So the end result of it is you have to be happy to leave your house for 2 days, drive over here, get a hotel, bring your wife and kids, spend 18 grand, go and come back. His is going to be 4 total treatments. So come back 4 more times and repeat that process and then refer your friends. That's a big ask, but not if you take it little bites at a time. And it all starts with the first phone call. And if you just take, we call it going up the gradient. If you go from here to here, that's too much. But if you go from here, little baby steps at a time, it just makes obvious sense that that would be the next step.
Yeah. It's so awesome. And even from, he took 2 books home with him, oftentimes that's when like they have to apply to have us give them our exclusive book, right?
Sure.
To work in their area. Like we'll write a custom one, but if they're gonna license the ones that we already have
Absolutely.
done, it's like, oh no, like we need to see, are you going to give them that 5-star
Sure.
experience, right?
Sure.
Are you going to, like, what other marketing do you have in place? Like, yes, it's the holy grail, but it's only the holy grail if you use it right? Like the Bible is the Bible, but it only works if you read it and
Well,
you
so
do what it says.
in our welcome book, we tell people that we run on time. And if we're ever late, we'll give you a $25 gas card as an apology. So we only give 2 or 3 a year, but we run on time. So
Right.
now not an, 70+% of patients will verbalize this is the best doctor's visit that I've ever had. But it doesn't
100%.
happen by accident. We
No.
train, we role play. There's certain things like we know the top 5 or 10 things are going to happen. Let's have a response to that ahead of time. What happens if we do run behind? Well, we hired an extra girl. We have an extra exam room. She'll go in and start taking blood pressure, talking to you. And it just keeps the clock moving. So by the time you do get to me, I do my thing versus just having you sit there, right? So there are lots of ways that all of this happens, but none of it happens. Well, we just found an issue the other day. Okay, don't stress about the issue. What's the solution? Very simple solution. Put it into place. Won't happen again. So as you continue to do that, people come in and say, oh my God, everybody's happy. Nobody's happy in a pain practice. But if you treat them well, and also, as you said, we don't let some stupid people in, right? Like, so it's a weed out as well. So sometimes some of the hurdles you have to jump over, or some of the questions we ask, or even if you make it all the way to the end, but you're not a good person, we don't allow you into the practice because it's not worth upsetting our day because you don't know how to manage yourself. So we have created an environment where doctors come to, this is the most amazing thing, but this didn't happen by accident. This is
Oh,
years of learning how to fine tune it. It all happens as a product. And again, if you follow the steps, now if you miss a step, hey, that person didn't do what yeah, why? Because and you always go back to the last step. Oh, we missed this step. That's why I put that step back in place, and it happens. I had a young doctor here and he said, oh my God, this was like so smooth. He goes, I struggled. I said, no, because they've already, if you paid attention when the guy walked in the room, he said, hey, you're the guy in the video I just saw. Exactly, because he'd already taken the quiz, read the welcome book, read the other book. Now, the first time he saw me live via video, and then I'm a little anal. I'm wearing the same shirt that's in the video. So in his subconscious mind, hey, I just met with this guy. We already have a relationship. And my new girl, she's only been here 2 days, said, you joke a lot. Well, Dan mentions that in his book, a laugh and something, something.
yeah.
Because if you're laughing, you're at ease, So we find some things. I had one girl get upset because I tell the same joke often. But I said, to you, you've heard it 17 times today. To them, that's their first
The
time.
first time.
So it's like Seinfeld telling a joke. He has said that 1,000 times, but to
Yes.
you, that's the first time. As
Yeah.
Dan said, it was scripted down to the dropping of the paper or the spilling of the water because that produced a better result. So I
Yeah.
learned over the years what sequence of events work well. And sometimes when I say something, I then say, on our website, we have videos, let's say from the TV show The Doctors, and I'll play a 30-second clip. Now, people automatically assume I know the guys on The Doctors. I don't, but it's called borrowed celebrity. They think, oh my
Wonderful.
God, what he just said is what they just said. Like on an MRI report, some patients will say, is that you just saying that? I said, Mrs. Jones, Dr. So-and-so, who I understand has been in practice for 38 years, agrees with my findings per your report. He said exactly what I just told you, borrowed authority. But a simple little line slid in assuages that doubt, builds more authority and trust. And the end result of it is nothing happens by accident. And if you're acutely aware of your surroundings, you're able to fix those things so that next time it's not an issue. And for 99%, it just follows suit. And there's 1% that something got through the cracks, and that happens sometimes. But
Yep.
it's an amazing life, as my new girl said. But I said, honey, I reverse engineer it. I would hope it is, because this did not happen by accident, right? So yeah.
I set this in order just like this. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
all just fun. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Well, I'm telling you, uh, even from the first time I heard you, we can just sit and just go back and forth. You see, I just smiled the entire time because it's like when somebody gets it, they really get it. And I
Yeah.
absolutely love it. I just eat this stuff up. Tell everybody where to find you, how they can get in touch with you. What's the easiest way if they've got pains in their knees and their backs, wherever? How can they find you?
Well, so our website is just my name, drkenvinton.com. And the 800 number is 800-949-4031. And it's answered 24 hours a day by a live attendant. We then get an email with the message and we address it accordingly.
Perfect, perfect. If you want a 5-star experience, you got to go see this guy. And thank you so much for your
Well,
time. I
thank
just
you. And it's always
appreciate
glad
you.
to share, because so many people might be looking, right? And even if they only institute what, like the doctor who just studied with us, ask for everything. I'm like, dude, this is too much, but just do the one thing. So I gave him one thing. He said he's already seen a result, a significant and a financial result in just the last 10 days. So just pick the one thing. The one thing I'd start with is authority and a book. And you may not think you're the world's greatest authority, maybe you have low self-esteem, but I promise you, to the person who doesn't know what you know, you're an authority to that person. And as you go along, you'll get better. So write a second book, write a sequel, whatever you need to do, write 10 of them on different niches and different topics. But if I had one thing to do, that's the thing I'd do.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And we'll end there.